Well, we're here outside the Victoria and Albert Museum in central London, where the weights for the Randox Health Grand National 2017 are just about to be announced. Two men that have already seen the list, Lee Mottershead and Ed Quigley, and they join me here for their initial reaction. Lee, first of all, what's the headlines?
The headlines are, this is very much an Irish Grand National. The top 5 horses in Phil Smith's weights are all trained in Ireland, headed by the Lexus Chase winner Outlander, who heads the weights on 11 stone 10, equivalent to a mark of 166. And the next 4 on the list, Champagne West, Empire of Dirt, Don Poli, Carlingford Lock, all trained in Ireland. The top of the weights is dominated by Irish trained horses.
And Ed, the top of the weights also doubtful runners. There's every chance this list could rise.
Yeah, very much so. Everything's basically going to hinge on the Cheltenham Gold Cup, isn't it? With Outlander going there, Champagne West going there. I think it's going to be a case of how they'll come out. Yeah, Don Poli going there. Difference with Don Poli is I think the Gold Cup is a little bit of an afterthought with the Grand National to plan, as opposed to the other way around. Outlander's being trained for a Gold Cup, Champagne West is going for the Gold Cup, if that makes sense. So, I think there's, as Lee says, is dominated by the Irish at the top of the weights and dominated by doubtful runners at the top of the weights.
And last year, the 59th horse on the list got in. This year, again, it's a very high-class looking race, so it's towards the top of the marks you want to be looking at.
Yeah, I mean, Phil Smith is billing this as the classiest Grand National ever. He thinks this is the strongest potential lineup we've had for the race. You say last year, it was sort of the 59th joint equal horses that got in there. And this year, Phil thinks actually be slightly further down in the 60s. Key to say, though, is that last year there was a lot of hoo-ha around some horses with the Aintree fact that didn't get in. Well, this year, the bitch chase winner Vieux Leon Rouge is guaranteed to run. He's horse number 40. Highland Lodge, who didn't get in last year, will get in this year. He's 42. But old Alvarado, who's been 4th twice, he definitely won't. He's about 1,040th on the list.
Well, you've had a little bit of a chance to digest the list. Who's jumping out at you at this stage as an anti-post bet?
I'm a big Don Poli fan. I think he'll carry the weight. He's a big strapping horse. Trip will be fine. Ground will be fine. I think he ticks all the right boxes for national candidate. But one a little bit further down, only 10-8 on its back, Cause of Causes. Didn't get in last year. I think that could look very favourable for that horse. Got a lot of ability on his day. Nice racing weight and one that could go well at a decent price.
You said it would be an Irish Grand National. Ed's already tipped 2 Irish trained runners. What about you, Lee?
Well, listen, everyone has thought for a long time that old Don Slowly was a Grand National horse. He's not good enough to win a Gold Cup, but maybe he'll be good enough to win a Grand National. I think another horse that ran in that Irish Gold Cup on Sunday, Carlingford Lock, looks like he could be made for a Grand National. He's a bit like Don Poli. He'll come from behind, got class about him. I thought he actually ran all right on Sunday at Leopardstown, and he's one that will be trained for the Grand National because he hasn't been put in the Gold Cup this year. And a bit further down the weights, one for the home team, I think Black Lion could be a Grand National horse. He's trained by a master Grand National trainer. He's maybe doesn't look visually like a Grand National horse.
Small, isn't
he wouldn't be the biggest. But some small horses have done well in the National in the past, and you can be almost sure that given who trains him, they'll be looking at Aintree.
Yeah, I think the Nigel Twiston Davis trained Black Lion certainly has a great chance on April the 8th. But between now and then, stay up to date with all the latest Aintree news on racingpace.com and on our mobile app.